Alhamdulillah, and welcome to another episode of The Bridge. Today we have one of the brothers with our foundation from Lewisham Islamic Centre, someone who's been here from a very young age, grew up in the Lewisham sides, done many youth work from the days I remember him. And Alhamdulillah, today's a grown man coming to us to give us some advice, give us his path and what he's been through in life. And inshallah, those watching can benefit just like you've benefited from those who came before. So inshallah, we start with it. Barakallah feek for coming, bro. Jazakumullah khair. As we always say, anyone who comes here is not paid. It's just out of your heart because you know, everyone that's here is family basically. So we will say thank you for those who come. And straight into it, we always ask from a young age, what made you who you are kind of thing? Like what are the things that happened from a young age that you remember today that kind of patterned out how your life was going to be in hindsight now?
Thank you for having me. I feel like that question there is a question where it could so much happen. I'll say in my childhood, that has shaped me to how I am now.
Just basics. Living just starts from the basics. Like where was you born? Things like that.
Basics. I was born in Croydon. I was born in Croydon, raised in Croydon. I went to 2 primary schools. The first one I went to, Selsdon High. Okay. So it's now an academy. It's quite a bad school. I didn't do too well there. I was a bit naughty.
Naughty as in like troublesome in school or towards the teachers? There's different types of students.
Yeah. I think I was just a bit cheeky. Same way I'm cheeky now, to be honest. But if I keep it real, when you're black and you're cheeky, it's rude.
Okay.
When you have a bit of banter, it's rude, especially when they don't understand your community. When the teachers don't understand the young people they're dealing with. There's little things. But yeah.
But was it a black-dominated area or was it mixed in a sense?
The area was Selsdon, so it's quite mixed, but still predominantly mostly white people. You see it?
Okay.
But remember, I'm mixed race anyway, so I grew mostly with my white side of the family.
Okay.
So I kind of knew how to pattern between both worlds. See it? So I got kicked out in year 8. How old would I have been?
You mean 8 years old?
No, year 8. Like so the
secondary school.
So the second year in secondary school.
Okay.
I got kicked out there.
14 probably.
About 14, yeah?
13, 14.
13, 14,
yeah.
13, 14.
Yeah. This being a bit...
That's secondary school now,
That's secondary school, yeah. But then I managed... my mum managed to wiggle me somehow into a better school than one I got kicked out of, because most people know when you get kicked out of a school, goes on your report, and then you get put into a centre.
Yeah,
and my mum was like, you're not going to centre, that's how you're going to really end up down a worse road. This is what they like for you. So she managed to get me into a...
Just going back to primary school, everything was okay, you done well, you finished your primary school?
Yeah, I done well in primary school. I done well in primary school. I think I was like more creative and more like of a fitness kind of young boy. I just used to like football, rugby, cricket, PE was just the main thing. So I just done well in those schools. And again, most of the schools I went to were predominantly white as well. Not that there's a problem there, but just to show...
No, of course.
That's my background. That's how my childhood kind of grew. And there's this big misconception as well of my mum. People think that my mum's white and my dad's black. No, my mum was mixed race. So she's quarter Mexican, Jamaican and English. So going into a white school, sometimes women that look like my mum were frowned upon. Just looked like you're just some woman that's with your little mixed race kid. So there were a few things that was a bit funny with teachers and stuff and other parents in the school, but nothing too mad that really traumatised me as such. It was more when I went to that secondary school that I got kicked out of, which we'll dip into a bit more deeper, which kind of, that was like the first things that started having an effect on my childhood, which kind of just took my childhood away from me. And I think that's what made me start, even bringing it up now, by the way, and just to make it clear. You see, like everyone talks about this PTSD thing, yeah? I got diagnosed that I have it, and I'm not, like, a lot of rappers and stuff nowadays talk about how they got it, and I don't know if they do have it, but one thing that I definitely do is this. I definitely have that PTSD thing, and I realised when I've been talking to people and getting my therapy lately, I've blocked a lot of things out that happened in my childhood and really didn't realise. And so when I'm explaining things, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, this happened and that happened. So forgive me for not like going in chronological order on how things happened. I just remembered I was 11 years old. So that was like year 7, year 8-ish, when that's when I saw some people try to shoot my brother and my dad in front of me when I was with my mum in my house, yeah?
And just randomly?
Nah.
But there's stories behind it,
obviously. There's a massive story behind it, but it's so petty. Dumb guys being dumb, trying to prove that they are something that they're not. Which has now kind of I think that's what started that seed, or you could say literally that bullet or 2 bullets started and penetrated me like mentally,
yeah,
to wanting to ask more questions about life, life after death, and a number of other things as well. So I got kicked out of that school for misbehaving. But now looking back, as I'm a man now, looking back, I'm thinking, do you know what? What was I seeing at that time which was making me misbehave more in school? Being cheeky and stuff like that. What was it? My life wasn't normal. When I was going to school, every single day with my mum, we're hiding knives and stuff underneath the seat. I'm with my mum, we're putting baseball bats in the car because there was this ongoing back and forth family stupid beef. And I'm not even going to sit here like we was innocent. We were really innocent in it. We just got caught up in some real silliness.
Let me understand this. You're saying in a car with your mum, there's knives.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah, well, to protect ourselves.
And it's not even somebody external, gang beef. You're talking about family kind of like disputes and stuff, which is...
It started off with my older brother. And they were friends at one time, and then there was some stupid little incident over a girl. And there was a big fallout or whatever, but the boys that got involved really would do anything to prove that they're bad boys or they're gangsters. And that's what led to them coming to my house whilst I was in there, 11 years old. My niece was in there. She must have been like 4. My nephew was in there. My sister's in there. My brother-in-law's in there. And we're not on the road. Like, I'm a little kid. I'm a little baby. My niece is a little baby. And these men are coming to the house and letting off guns. Like, that's real gangster stuff. You know what I mean? There's no respect.
Of course.
So, yeah, when I say we had knives and stuff like that, it's not because we were like some wannabe gangsters as well. So wannabe people looking for clout. We was literally doing it because we was fearful of our lives. There'll be times that I'll be sneaking it in, thinking my mum didn't even know. And she's sneaking it in, thinking that I don't know. But looking back, I remember where things were set.
It's mad.
And from that age there, until I got a bit more older, that was it every single day. Yeah, some things I'm not going to say, but it was traumatising.
How long did that last, man?
Till I was about 19, 20. Every single day. People trying to terrorise us, setting my mum's car alight on my drive, threatening us. Same dispute going on for ages. But really snidey and petty. It wasn't blatant. It would always be when my dad's not around. Or when my brother's not around. It's just a little kid, me at the time, and my mum coming to our house, pressing down their horn until like 1 o'clock in the morning whilst I'm sleeping. I got school the next morning. And again, that's why it goes back to why I was just being a little rascal in school, because my night got disturbed last night by somebody coming outside the house, pressing the horn, and I'm not joking, literally pressing the horn for about 2 minutes non-stop, just holding the horn outside. And when looking outside and we can see them, their car's packed of loads of man in the car. It's just me and my mum in the house. So now we're all, like at that time, me and my mum are thinking, are people going to come and run in the house? So this is why a lot of the time, even in my music or in my stories when I upload, I'm talking about there was weapons all around the house. Not because I'm a bad boy, not because I'm a gangster, not because I even like that life. It was literally to protect us.
Self-defense.
Back door, big knife. Front door, 2 big knives. Under my pillow, I had this little silly gas gun thing to protect my mum. 11 years old, 12, 13. I'm a little kid. Meant to be playing football and all them things there. And I'm telling you, this was going on for many years. Anyway, so I managed to get into a different school now, which was called Charles Darwin, ironically enough. And that was like a proper white school. Like proper white school, but it's good because I knew how to pattern. Went there. You know, I had some really good times in that school. I'm not gonna lie, it was good. I met some good people there. People I still stay in contact with now.
Was there a different environment?
Completely. There were 5 black kids in the whole school. But I'm not talking about my year, the whole school. And I was just the mixed race one. You see it? So if we did do anything, we would start that like sort of thumbs. Yeah. My name was always getting called, like, you know, after break. Would Romero please come to reception, please? To the headmaster's office, Yeah. So I'd have that a lot. And then, funny enough, me and the deputy head teacher, which happened to be, he was an Indian man. I think he was Sri Lankan. I can't remember. And he's now the head teacher of my school. Shout out Mr. Chotai. He after a while really started liking me. But at first we used to clash a lot. But after a while he just took me and my other friends as well. He just took us under his wing and was kind of trying to protect us and realised our names were getting called out unnecessarily. Yeah, we're a bit loud and a bit more boisterous than the rest, but we're not actually being bad.
How was the education for you on that?
Really good. Really good.
Like, GCSEs and...
Yeah. I wouldn't say that Sorry. I'm not really a studious person. Well, I thought I wasn't until I started reading things that I was interested in. But in school, most of the things were really, really boring. But I had a big passion for sports science. I really liked geography, even though I didn't get on with my teacher. But other than that, GCSEs, I didn't come out with the best GCSEs. I can't remember what I got, to be honest, because I haven't really needed them since I've come out. But,
and in that midst of education, because you took Shahada quite early. So a few questions pertaining to that.
Yeah.
Number one, any family member, I know your mum, alhamdulillah, took Shahada later on, rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy on her.
Ameen.
But before that, any family member, relatives that have been Muslim, and how did you then also come across Islam at year 10? You know, who spoke to you? What did you read? What happened? What was going through your mind at that time?
A lot. At that time, so I took my Shahada when I was 15 years old. At this time, this is when I would say I was... It's crazy, because looking in, I thought I was such a big man. I was 15 years old.
We all did, I know.
Like, I was just thinking how I was moving. And anybody that's kind of followed my journey, they've never really heard me talk about my street life. And what took place in my street life, it was more, I took my Shahada and I had a bit of drama in my childhood, and then I grew up, and many years later, my mum passed away, and now I'm this Muslim boy. And that was deliberately done because I just didn't want to ever... My older cousin actually taught me, like, whatever you've done on the street, never boast about it. Always, you know, keep it quite quiet. But now I'm away from that life, I feel like I can talk about it. So what led me to that was my influence... Sorry, the people I used to look up to as role models at that time would be all of my older lot. So that's like PDC, SMS... all the old school bricks and lot. Like, in a way, we used to idolise them. They probably don't even know that. All of them. Stinks. All of them. The whole group of them. Like, it's crazy how much they used to influence, man. So certain things that they would rap about, I would go and kind of so-called do. And it was inspiring seeing these types of men that could look after themselves speaking in a certain way. Bearing in mind, I've always felt like I wasn't able to protect my mum. And seeing guys like that, like, yeah, you get me, I need to be like this so I can protect myself, my mum and my family. So I started picking up and copying certain traits. Now looking back, a lot of them traits wasn't good. But many of them at that time were Muslim, which of course had an effect to me. Like, what's this thing that they keep rapping about? These little Arabic words here and there, and it's like, Assalamu alaikum. Now, what is that? So I feel like that created a sort of a thing just to make me say, like, start asking questions. Same way if they would talk about a certain weapon, I would ask questions about that. So I think that's what kind of maybe planted the seed to make me look into it, was literally from rap. A few of my friends at the time, they took their Shahada, and a lot of people at my age, even like all the Gypset brothers, like from Fulton Heath and I saw like Crept, Conan, all them lot, they were taking their Shahada. So all of them, they were all Muslims. And they kind of built
at a stage from you though, you I mean, you came in very early. Did they take Shahada that
them lot are older than me.
Okay, but did they become Muslims
Before me?
Okay.
Yeah. And I was anti it at the time. I was like, nah, because it had that bad stigma around it as well. And I just didn't understand it, just due to me just either been naive or just ignorant. I was just anti, like, nah, I'm not doing follow fashion. And then after a while, I started speaking to my friend. He took his Shahada and he started telling me certain things. And I was like, right, this is really interesting, you know? So one day I went to Croydon Mosque in Fulton Heath, and there was like a bookstore near it. I went in there and I got this book called Basic Beliefs in Islam. Basic Beliefs and Teachings in Islam. And I took that book. I felt really weird going in that mosque as well, because it was predominantly like this proper like Pakistani in it. So I was like, I don't know what to do. You get me? I felt proper odd. Anyway, I went home, read that. And that's when I started liking reading books. That's when I was like, yeah, do you know what? Like, books are serious. And it just broke down, literally, the basic beliefs in Islam. And I was like, I pretty much agree with this anyway. One God. I was reading about the cleanliness. And I was like, being clean, and this is my type of thing as well. I don't know what it is, but I always like, from a kid, I've always liked the ocean, I've always liked the water. So one thing that was really fascinating was about the wudu.
MashaAllah.
I don't know why. I just took to that, like, right, this is deep. And then the other thing as well that really drew me in is that my mum and my dad used to teach me from early about the prophets of God at that time. So I was proper like aware that there was different prophets and righteous men that walked upon the earth. And mum was like Moses, that my mum used to always tell me the story of Moses. And when I saw this list of all the different prophets, it just come down to Jesus. And it said Jesus is not the son of God, but a prophet and a messenger of God. And I was like, this makes actual sense. Like, this isn't no random religion that everyone's following. This stuff is making sense. And I'm not going to lie, I can't even sit here and give one, like, an amazing story that I saw this light and then this happening. You know that saying, like, real recognize real? People think it's just them people. No, like, if you see truth as well. Truth as well.
100%.
Like, hack is hack. And sometimes I didn't even need no mad drama of my guts hanging out for me to realise that there's a God. It was right in front of me. And then later on, even being a Muslim now, it's just like, it's crazy how much persuading you need, because you can just look at the sky and look at a tree, or just look at the grass and you just see hack is hack.
So saying that you went in there, because some brothers, you know, maybe sometimes one of the brothers was saying, look, same thing, you know, some of the brothers from PDC, SMS. So he just, I'm a Muslim, went in there, went to a masjid, as a Muslim, didn't really understand it. Later on realised you actually read a book, understood what you're getting into, understood Islam. Yeah,
like, again, I get profiled a lot, like, did you go jail and take your Shahada? Did you go jail and just want to be part of them? No, like, it was a genuine, well, I hope it was genuine. It was a genuine thing where, you know, I saw the actual, like, the beauty in this religion. And because I would have taken Shahada from when I saw them man doing it and just follow suit and say, I'm part of the brotherhood now. Nah.
And saying that at that time, so you're like 15, 16, you've taken your Shahada, you've understood it, alhamdulillah, you know, the challenges at that particular stage. Not later on, we'll come to some of those challenges, but as a youngster, 15, 16, taking Shahada, what were the challenges and what were the, what's the word, you know what were you finding difficult to do as a Muslim, but knowing you're supposed to do it? Do you understand?
Perfectly. It was easier then.
It's easier then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a boy. I don't know fitness, like how you know fitness when you become a man. I barely hit puberty, and the only thing maybe I had at that time was like a girlfriend in school, and it's not like I had a girlfriend that I've lost. Like, I need to have a girl. Like, as when you grow up now, everyone's just like, right, man needs a thing, man needs a girl, man needs to get married. It wasn't a need. It's just like, I just have a girlfriend, as you do in school. Remember, I'm in year 10 when I took my Shahada. So, I actually, like, later on, after I took my Shahada, I actually apologised to her because I kind of just, I just left her. But I told her, look, I'm going to have to, we can't see each other anymore, because like I'm really trying to take my faith well. And she was such a good girl and really respectful as well. And we didn't end on bad terms. It was quite good. And, you know, I just thought later on in life I should apologise to her, so I did. I didn't really do nothing mad and just cut her off or anything in a raw way. I told her what it was, and she said that she doesn't want to become a Muslim and stuff. I said, that's fine. So that I wouldn't say it was just like, it wasn't really, really a big struggle. It was fine. I was rapping when I was like like my whole school used to know, like, I used to be the rapper in my school, especially that school as well. So it was even more of a bigger thing. So that was a struggle. Stopping the music was a struggle. But everything else is, when you find something new and you're on this wave and it's like a new kind of thing in life, you start, things that I feel are easier for you to do because you're on the hype of it.
The momentum is there to change.
Yeah, you're like, wow, this is fascinating. It's fun to do for me. I don't know about everybody else. But like now when I go on social media, like, for example, when people want to start being like this fitness coach, like, they can talk that life now. But when it's like years and years down the line and it's like a bit, it's a bit, not a burden, but it's a bit tiring now.
Yeah,
Let's see if you have that same energy. So coming new to the Islam, like, it was fascinating to stop everything I'm doing to go and pray. It wasn't a hardship. It was like, I'm excited to go and pray because it's this new thing that I'm doing. The struggle is down the line. Maintaining it. And yeah.
That's the consistency with the Prophet said, the best deeds are those deeds which might be small, but they're done consistently. So sometimes you find a hype comes to 6 months, but then the brother slips completely. But okay, you know, take it slowly and just do those deeds consistently. But side point, so, you know, you're young, at that age, you're a kid, you know, probably need a lot of support. Do you think from the Muslim community perspective, you got the support that you needed?
Yeah, big time. Looking back now, again, now I'm a man, so I can look back and I could say I learned things that I needed to learn. I would make a few changes here and there, but I had a lot of support, big time, from any like from all masjids, especially in South London. Had a lot of support, a lot of care, a lot of love, and that's what made me even more attracted to Islam even more. So one thing way before that, sorry, I forgot to say, was the brotherhood I used to see. And then after becoming a Muslim, because I could easily just slipped back out and just said, you know what, but it's not really for me. But no, I saw the brotherhood, the caring, calling, you're right, we're going out to eat, do you want to come, bro? We're going here, we're going there. And then I had like family members and friends that were a lot older than me as well, that kind of took me under their wing. And then I stumbled here in Lewisham Mosque, and I met you. And then thank you. Yeah, I feel like you've done a lot for me. And yeah.
What age was that when you met old Pops there?
I can't remember. It must have been like 16, 17? 16.
So just like a year after, roughly.
Yeah, there's a batch of youngsters from Croydon. You remember?
Oh, them. I never come here. I come here with Abdul Shakur.
First. Yeah.
And I remember when I first come here, I don't know if you remember, but I had this big silver chain around my neck here because I thought at the time it was cool. Like, I thought gold was haram, silver was haram, but I was still trying to be a little road boy.
Yeah.
And I had this big silver chain around my neck, and I remember.
Don't expose me, bro. Don't expose me. Yeah.
No, you didn't do nothing to me. It was good. It was good. No one said nothing to me. None of the older brothers said anything to me, but I'm sure they could see that I was a fresh Muslim. I probably was. You can just see when someone's fresh and someone's not. But anyway, I had this big chain, and then I remember the younger brother was like, "Astaghfirullah, you got a chain." the little kids, you get me? And I was like, "Oh, it's not haram." That is like, it is. And then I asked one of the older brothers, "It's like, yeah, it is." And I was thinking, just silver, yeah. It was silver.
That's another discussion. It's another discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous path to take, especially from me, because all the brothers are gonna start buying big chains. But yeah. So anyway, they got onto me for that. And
did that make you feel away or
no? Because it made me feel even more like, I like these people, you know. All these older guys could have come and said something to me. When I say younger, I'm talking about children.
Yeah, little
like
kid.
The madrasa
that's
children.
not even conscious about.
They don't even know about how you're meant to approach somebody right or wrong. And I was thinking, all these other men have seen me and no one said nothing. This is good. This is good because they could have come and been like people that I kind of get now and just nitpick on little things that I'm doing. No one said anything. So I forgot the original question, but that was one of the big things.
Support.
The support was mad. Like, very, very good.
So saying that, you know, in terms of from that time up to now, what would you say have been the greatest struggles? And I'm sure, you know, support, why I mentioned it, because I thought, you know, during the years, I think you felt maybe support was not there or you were let down by the Muslim community. So moving on, at an early stage, alhamdulillah, you know, the support you needed, you got it. But moving on in your journey as a Muslim and in Islam, do you think that support wavered a bit?
Yeah.
What do you think the reason for that was, and, you know, how can you advise the viewers, basically?
First thing was, I think the first thing which I didn't like, because when I got married so young, a lot of people don't know that I've been married. Getting married so young, literally trying to do the right thing. Like, again, being a big man now and coming from a background that I come from, to get married at such a young age is very frowned upon.
17, was it 17 you got
17.
married? 17,
Yeah.
Right, at 17.
Mashallah.
It's funny because I have brothers now that are a bit older than me. They don't know much about me. They just see man on the gram now and they think, I'm just trying to do Instagram life, I was a man early, like proper early, too early, I thought. And I don't make any regrets. I mean, I don't have any regrets of, but I've learned from my lessons. And my point was, it's just like people don't realise how early I had to grow up. Number one, with the family dramas, with the whole shooting and all that incident, and then getting married so quick or so early, right? But I believe my intentions were right.
No, man, your heart's in the right place, Akhi.
I hope so, and I hope it still is. But I got married, and I feel like the type of support that I should have, that I'd want my son in the future to have, or even younger brothers that I see now talking about, I want to get married and that, the realness and the reality of marriage wasn't put to me the way it should be. It was put like it's absolutely amazing. And bro, you got to stay away from haram. So you got to just, get married. I'm not putting marriage off. I'm not saying it's bad. Marriage is very, very good. But you can't sell somebody a dream. Let's be real. How many brothers do we all know that got married early and where are they now? Jahil, off-deen, this, that and the other. I'm probably one of them. Everyone's focus is too much on how you need to treat the woman, which is because do you know what? Because Islam and Muslims are under that microscope so much, and women are oppressed in that. You forget. Hold on, we need to teach this brother, how to handle things. It's like, no, Aki, make sure you treat her like this and you treat her like that, and you do this and you do that for her. That's fine, bro. You got that on lock now. Let's not panic too much because of we're under the microscope. Teach me how to be a man towards this woman. I feel like that wasn't there. Not that I wasn't a man towards this woman, but how to deal with things if you've got a woman that was raised a bit differently to you, a woman that doesn't know how to respect. I don't want to speak bad on the lady I was married to at the time.
You're talking generally.
But generally, because I know loads of brothers and it's the same story always, or a little bit different. We was not taught how to deal with a woman if she doesn't know how to kind of be a woman. That's it.
Be a feminine self kind of thing.
Like, for example, we weren't taught, like, sometimes women act up. We weren't taught, I know it's only now, especially like in the Muslim community, that now we're speaking about mental health. A lot of these women that, or marriages we were going into, a lot of these women had certain traumas that they had experienced by themselves, and they would have daddy issues, respectfully, and let it out. And I'm thinking, I'm 17 years old, just trying to get married and live halal and this, that, and you're giving me this drama and that drama. I don't know what to do. And then you don't even want to go to the masjid and say respectfully, you don't want to go back to the imam that has just married you off and wished you all well, made all this dua for you to say, bro, I don't want to be with this girl no more, you know? She's nuts. You don't want to speak that real. Respectfully. And again, I'm not just talking about myself. Like, brothers that know me from back in the day, they know. Like, I've had brothers I've gone out to go meet brothers and they're crying literally in my arms, telling me the madness that his wife, Muslim wife, hijab and that is doing. But obviously, again, there's been beautiful sides of marriage. I'm just saying, I feel like I didn't get enough respect. I mean, not enough respect, sorry.
You wasn't given the guidance
support
you
and
needed.
guidance, yeah. I wasn't getting enough support and guidance of what to do, and I felt like I was just left in the deep end. Bearing in mind, coming from a Jamaican/white family as well, they'd be like, you getting married for? You're a little man. Me and your mum weren't married. What are you doing? You get me? Not to say that they are the pinnacle of what we follow, of course.
They're getting that pressure from that side as well, really.
From both angles. So you're like, I'm really trying to just do the good thing here. I'm just trying to just be a good man towards a lady, and I'm getting no guidance. So I feel like I didn't get support there enough.
Would you say, though, that was due to because you didn't necessarily speak out, or people wasn't offering it, or both kind of thing?
I can't tell you. I think it's like a bundle of loads of things. People have their own issues. People always want to put up a face of, I'm fine, bro, alhamdulillah. Even when you speak to brothers sometimes, you'll say, okay, how are you? Alhamdulillah, full stop. It's not like, alhamdulillah, okay, I'm going through this, that and the other. Bad, Aki, wallahi.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to listen to the way he says alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
That's what you
got to pay attention. Or, alhamdulillah, Aki. Or sometimes...
some people say alhamdulillah. You know, they don't know how to say, they don't know how to say alhamdulillah.
But I just think, that, again, me being naive...
I get what you're trying to say, though. And I think that is true in the Muslim community, where there is this kind of fake kind of alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? It's like, how you doing, akhi? It's like, alhamdulillah. It's like, because rather than being honest and say, you know what, alhamdulillah, but you know what, akhi, I'm going through this. You don't feel secure enough to tell someone else who's meant to be your Muslim brother, I'm going through this, akhi, and advise me. Even though in the Quran, Allah says that the person, a Muslim or a mu'min who tells another mu'min his situation can never go wrong. The one who seeks advice from another mu'min, he can never go wrong.
There's an angle to that, though. It's an angle in which is like, you know what, it's lack of brotherhood and fearing that, you know what, I'm going to be judged. So yeah, you know, I'm struggling. So if I say alhamdulillah, akhi, but you know what, I'm actually feeling weak and going through this, the person who's supposed to be my brother or sister, in the sister's case, is actually going to say to me, you're a weak Muslim. Ittaqillah, fear Allah, man. What's this? Up your iman. And not understand my predicament. So that is, you know, an issue.
Element.
Like, do you know what, just bringing this up again, remember I told you earlier about the blackouts that I have, not blackouts, but like stages in life where I'm like, I completely forgot about that, or it was so like horrible, I just can't remember that, Just speaking about it, especially on camera, like I don't even speak about these types of things on camera, right? But this thing of brother, it's mad. We'll talk about brotherhood, it's always to an extent though. It's always, there's a limit to how deep you can really show what's going on with you mentally, emotionally, man-wise. If I turn around now, let's not say now, I didn't even want to come to this podcast because I thought I was going to get judged. That's how deep it is. I'm a big grown man now that has grown up in this community, would literally do anything for this community, and I'm still in fear of me getting judged about something so minute. And it's got to the point where it's not even me worrying about the person judging me. Sometimes I worry about my reaction to that person who's got onto me, because you don't know nothing. You know how I'm feeling inside, mentally, physically, and this, that, and the other. And I was going to say that thing as well. Just like sometimes you come to the mosque and it's like you got to keep up a certain image of alhamdulillah, everything is fine.
The pious person.
That everything is fine. Alhamdulillah. Brothers just violated you. You hear the brothers out here talking your name, throwing dirt on your name. How are you? Alhamdulillah. Do you know things like that can just mash you up psychologically? So, like, bro, you're not meant to be like, of course, alhamdulillah for everything we have. Yeah? Good or bad. But at the same time, it doesn't make you less of a man when you're speaking on things that need to be spoken on. You need to address, I believe, certain issues have to be addressed because it will just get worse and worse and worse, and then you end up becoming like me and you don't want to be around believers anymore. And then you start being that lone wolf, and then that's when you get attacked by Shaitan properly. And then now look, like I'm to a point where I don't even want to come to the podcast because...
So have you addressed those issues in your public forums? And also, you know, what would be a solution to kind of this kind of like over judgmentalness that people might have or brothers might have?
Okay, so when I'm talking, because I don't even want to put people off the whole Muslim community, overall, it's beautiful and it's so loving, yeah? But it's when you first come into it, yeah? When you first come into it. After a while, when people start getting too familiar with you and too comfortable and start nitpicking your thoughts and that's when people start, well, I've noticed you start getting these types of things. So my advice would be, number one, you don't know no one's journey in life. So don't be so quick to just open up your mouth and say something to a brother. You know, this deen is like the most wisest, it is the most wisest religion out there. The amount of examples we've got about having wisdom and how we approach our brothers or how we approach our sisters, wisdom upon wisdom upon wisdom, yet we're still making the same stupid immature mistakes of getting angry because the brother's not tucked his socks in or the brother's smoking a cigarette, or but these times the brother's a whole gangbanger, or these times the brother wants to kill himself. And by the way, most of the things that I'm talking about, can't even say, just theoretically
facts.
speaking, I'm talking about facts. Had brothers on my phone telling me, bro, today is the day I'm going to overdose and kill myself. But has managed to somehow get out of that suicidal thought, go to the mosque and get judged because he's burning a cigarette. You don't even understand you think he's burning a cigarette because he wants to look cool. Do you know what I'm saying? He's traumatically scarred and mashed up in his head. And he needs to just take this, not needs to, but he feels like him taking this little white cigarette, which is causing him harm physically, it's just going to ease his nerves rather than him doing something worse.
But would you say, Shakeel, this is, it's not the majority?
Definitely not the majority. But the ones that are brave enough to go and do these stupid mistakes...
Yeah, not the mistakes, the judgmental side.
Yeah, the judgmental mistakes. This is... Sorry, not those mistakes. I'm saying on the being judgmental is a mistake.
Yeah. So do you think that, I mean, it's a minority, but they're loud, akhi. The majority of brothers just won't say anything because they're cool. You know, they won't judge. That's
the problem.
The minority that is kind of like, you know, loud, but, you know, were you seeing that? That's what you were seeing, the minority, but not to judge the whole...
So out of 10 brothers,
yeah,
maybe 2 or 1 is just silly enough to go and say something in a loud manner. So definitely not but because it's so loud, it feels like the majority. Do you understand?
And that no one else pulls that one up on...
Who judges the judges?
that's true. Yeah.
Who, like when I was coming up on social media and stuff like that, oh my God, I never knew this term of Haram Police. It started coming like, Haram Police are on you, Aki, this, that and the other, cool. And then I started realising why they're called Haram Police, bruv. You could do anything and they just start... Who polices the Haram Police? Nobody.
That's a good...
Nobody patterns them up. Nobody tells them, like, Aki, fear Allah, bro. You cannot come to somebody, anybody, and speak like with so much arrogance in your mouth, in your tone, so loudly and humiliate another man. Nobody polices these Haram Police. Nobody judges the judges, and they just get away with it and away with it. And what frustrates me even more is that they think they're so right. They walk away so puffed up in pride. And they feel like, mashallah, I've done a good deed today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward me for opening a fake account and advising this brother on social media. Or I've went up to a brother and I told him, move this cigarette. Bro, it's not good. Bro, there's been Muslims that have denounced the Shahada because of this, because of the loud ones. So my problem, I'll be honest, me now, because it was going on for so many years, I've gotten over these judgmental Muslims. I just don't care anymore. It's just whatever, say whatever. I've been called this, that and the other, labelled this, that and the other. And when you're a certain man that has gone through certain things and you've seen a lot of death and things like this, from proper loved ones, you realise, bro, I don't even care. It's like, call me whatever. I've got bigger things to be caring about. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Would you say that is a solution? for the person to be thick-skinned and say, you know what, look, I ain't going to be bothered about.
Because you can become arrogant, so it's dangerous as well. Because now even now, I'm like, sometimes I will say something mad inappropriate to somebody that's judged me, somebody because my thing is now had to forcefully be thick, I realised that I've got to calm myself down and still be humble with it, because I could turn around and just say something vicious. But then again, that's not thick skin, that's still me being sensitive, because I have to. So yeah, you're right, actually. If you've got thick skin, it will just bounce off you. But sometimes, man, it's just like...
Can wear you down, man.
Especially to how bad I was getting it. And it was like one stage, it was bad, man. I'll put up anything. And I was just getting judged left, right and centre. Well, not much in person. It was mostly off socials. And it wasn't always fake accounts. There was other accounts of brothers that man used to grow up with. Like, I know you, Aki. Furthermore, I used to do youth work with you, bro. Do you know what I mean? And you're out here, because I'm having a little bad moment and stuff like that, you're out here talking the most. And again, it's not the majority. It's just a shame that, again, nobody judges the judges. Not nobody, but they don't get it enough of, bro. You need to pattern up on how you speak to other brothers, other sisters. You will cause more problems than you're doing good.
Yeah.
I think another angle, just to balance the conversation, would be, okay, cool. So say someone does want advice then, and especially if you care for the person as well, like you said, say someone that you went youth club with or you work together, and he sees you do something that he deems to be incorrect. Let's just say, for example, how should that person approach you?
It depends how bad the thing is. I'll be real with you. Maybe I seem a bit... This is my first time being in cool. Back here in proper Islamic settings. So you're catching me very fiery and very bit wound up still, yeah? But I don't want to sound arrogant, yeah, but it's like, guys, you go to a khutbah every single Friday. You hear an imam, whatever area you're in, speak from the Quran and from words from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wisdom upon wisdom, haqq upon haqq, and then you hear stories of the Sahaba and how they were. If not, then you hear stories of how other righteous predecessors after that were, and the way that they would deal with people. You still don't know how to deal with people now. Are you listening? Are you listening? And then after you go to a dars as well, or you're on the way to the masjid, you're listening to this lecture of how wise these great ulama were and how they would deal, with somebody, would do certain mistakes, and how they would just have some really beautiful way of wisdom and how they would actually advise their brother. But we're still making a mistake. I don't...
Do you think it's more to do with not then differentiating between advice and being judgmental, and also in that advice having the hikmah of prioritizing? So some things, you know what, he's doing, she's doing, but you know what, it's a minor compared to what else is happening. But also the approach. Because one thing what Abdul Latif might be kind of alluding to is somebody cares for someone. Let's say it's you, and they come to you and say, look, Akhi, you know what, this you shouldn't be doing. I love you for the sake of Allah, but you know what, I think this is inappropriate or something.
Yeah.
Maybe see, if they've come in a good way and the approach is good, do you think that will be negative as well?
No. Positive is positive, the same way hack is hack, yeah? But you have to look at the situation, I believe. So let's say you, Aki, for example, yeah, I don't feel like you have any bad intentions to deal with me or something, yeah? And let's say I was smoking a cigarette outside, just for example. There could be two ways you deal with it, right? There could be quite an arrogant way to deal with it, or a positive way.
Why are you smiling, man?
This guy Shadid, man. This guy Shadid. He's the Haram Police talking about.
That's fine. Is it you in my comments, Aki? Oh, man, let's do this. I've been waiting for you, bro. I've been looking for you for years. Yeah. It's fine. Let's not use it let's not even use it on me. Let's just say there was a brother outside smoking, and I've seen this so many times. Personally, I feel like you should just leave him. Just leave him. And then, when he's not smoking, just have a conversation. And right at the end, after you've spoken to him about, how's your life? Okay, you're right, you would have understood that, right, you know what? My man's mum's going through this. He's going through that. He's going through a divorce, this, that, and the other. And then you realise, you know what? This is now you, is it worth me even bringing up the cigarette right now? Not really. Say, Aki, do you know what? By the way, I just see you smoking, Aki. It's fine. I'm not going to say anything. But do you know what? Because there's like young youth around here, Aki. Just try to smoke around the corner, inshallah. But no problem. Yeah. Boom. But how many times do we see... And the big man, yeah, and that's another thing we forget, that as much as we're meant to be humble as Muslims, we're still men and we still have pride, yeah? Telling a grown man to go and stop his sin right there in front of you, bro, you make me feel like a dog, like, sit, now lie down and put your cigarette out, boy. What type of reaction? Come on. Yeah, but the Sahaba, they used to hear and I bet... I know, but our iman...
It's not the same.
Is not the same. Yeah, but they'll believe straight away. They'll hear and obey. If you said the ayat to them, they'll stop that. Bro, we're here.
It's in a context as well, though, actually. Even that was in a context. You know, sometimes I think that is also... You see, when you paint a picture that's so perfect, you don't look at how long it took to paint that picture.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm trying to say to you?
Because then there's other stories of other Sahaba
that made...
big sins and repented after. So, yeah... Again, it's just what the situation was. Now, let's just say I was doing something and it would be advice. Let's say I was outside, or a brother was outside the mosque, and he was whiling out on the phone to his wife. And he was swearing, you little F, la, 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 la. And there's loads of brothers. Like, then you say, bro, come on. And you deal with it accordingly. Because why? Number one, he's getting himself wound up. Number two, he's swearing in front of all the kids and all the women. It looks bad, it looks tacky. But even that, with how you went about him. Imagine you grabbed him up by his neck, like, you start for what are you doing? You swear. You go to him like, bro, calm down, what's the matter? Bam, 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 bam. So it's not the fact that advice isn't good. Bro, I love advice. How it's delivered is everything. You could say the exact same words that other people have told me. It's not what you're saying, it's how is it being said.
What can be worse than urinating in a place that is supposed to be clean and pure, the masjid, and how the Messenger of Allah dealt with that person. You know, and I think what it's hikmah, it's the hikmah.
It's the hikmah.
To let him carry on finishing his week.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I don't know, I'm just rude sometimes. I don't know what it is, but it proper, like, irritates me, yeah. Like, if we're going to do, like, you'll see people on my comments like, right, if you're going to do road, bro. If you're going to do Islam, don't do in between, cool. We hear beautiful... narrations like this and ways of how the Prophet, peace be upon him, was, yeah, inside the mosque. This is the Prophet of Allah, yeah. Nowadays, I feel like these things have become like fairy tales to people's ears, where it's like, for example, Imam Shakeel has just said that, yeah. Let's just say he gave that in as a Friday prayer sermon, khutbah, right? If a brother walked in with his trainers on, accidentally, yeah, I guarantee... How many...
Yeah, it's a myth. In prison, yeah, you know what used to happen? Oh, my days. In prison, like, I think Feltham it was, when the fights used to happen inside the mosque, the govs would come in with their shoes. People forget about the fight and turn on the screws, like, what are you, man? Start trying to fight the officers, and it's like, hey, you were just fighting in the mosque,
yeah,
punching up another Muslim. But the fact that a non-Muslim has come in with shoes, that's become more sacred to you than being up a Muslim.
Cherry picking.
So the Muslim Bilal, he said something about, in terms of one of his friends was looking into Islam. So started watching his videos to get more acquainted to Islam, and then started reading, and he's phoning him because he's telling me, look, he phoned me, yeah, it sounds interesting, I'm looking into it. Then he started reading the comments on some of the videos. And he's saying, well, these people seem to have similar names like you, you know, Bilal and so on.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're actually hating on you.
Yeah.
Is this the brotherhood that you guys have?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't want to be in this religion.
Yeah.
Turn away.
Yeah. But saying that, Shakeel, in terms of other struggles, so that's been an important struggle there that you've mentioned. Anything else in your journey in Islam?
Other than, just the judgmental thing, not nothing from the Muslim community. I'll say stupid things of like police pulling me over and saying stupid comments because I've got a beard and things like that. That was a bit of a struggle because it's just like, I'm actually trying to do something really good here. Like, I could be out here terrorising, no pun intended, like you, yeah? But I'm actually being a good Muslim. Furthermore, forget good Muslim, I'm being a Muslim. I'm staying away from gang culture, street culture and stuff like that. Like, but that would be my struggle. Like, police just pulling me over and saying a little sarcastic, like, is that what's he called it? The Islamophobic.
Islamophobia, yeah.
So those struggles, let's say with the police or, you know, with members of the community being judgmental towards you,
Yeah.
did that have a negative impact on your Iman and Islam?
Nah, that was just like, you man are just Egypts anyway, because before I was Muslim, I used to think they're Egypts anyway. I remember being like, I was like 7 years old, and one police officer called me a little SHIT. And I remember going back to my mum and I was like, Mum, the policeman called me a SHIT. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. I thought police were good. Till I started getting older and I used to just get picked on, literally, because at first I started as I was a good boy. Like, I wasn't doing road and that straight away. And police would just come and just do horrible things to me and twist me up and handcuff me and make me stand there because I didn't have an L plate on the back of my moped, but I had it on the front. So I knew that police were just not nice people. Some of them are, but majority of them would just give me that stereotype. So me growing a beard on top of being a black way just made me look maybe another certain way. So no, that didn't bother me at all. It still doesn't bother me. What? No? I can't complain.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
I can't complain.
And in terms of, you know, our kind of like concept here, bridging, in the bridge, we're trying to bridge between communities, people, individuals, brothers who might be in, let's say, certain industries, but inshallah, networking with them, inshallah, even non-Muslims, you know, reduce kind of like the tensions between youngsters or knife crime and so on. So but going back to the Muslim issue of wala and, you know, and Muslim loyalty, how did you feel back then and now concerning brothers, different ends, different ethnicities? Is there a concept of wala and unity that you feel within yourself with other Muslims?
There's definitely unity with different types of brothers, and it's just like it's like all communities. You're gonna get good and you're gonna get the bad, and that's what's kept me here, of growing, having that mature mindset, or maturing into that mindset of understanding that you're gonna get loyalty here and you might get disloyalty there. It's got nothing to do with the religion. It's got everything to do with the caliber of person and where they are at that time. As for like, sorry, what was the? Do I still see unity now?
Yeah. So back then and now.
Nah. I saw more unity back then, and not much now.
What are the reasons you think? Because some people mention that to me and I just say, look, brothers have become older, they're married, they've got kids, they're busy. It's like what you mentioned, come out, let's go in for dinner. But it's no longer practical with some of the brothers because they've got other commitments. Is it that, or is it actually people hating on one another?
I was going to say that, but I thought let me just say it. when you start saying that, you sound like you're arrogant. Like, you say, I remember I said to this brother, I said it as a joke as well. I was like, you're just jealous, man. He's like, what have I got to be jealous about you, Aki? Wow. I remember. Wallahi, that happened. I remember. Oh my God. There's bare hate, man, in the community. Especially when you start doing something constructively. It's like brothers just start hating on you.
Is it again a minority or a majority?
Are we talking about social media now, or are we talking about in real life? I kind of class the two as two separate things, man.
Same. This is another misconception. People think I'm a certain way. I try to keep it real on my socials, but see me in person, I'm not a completely different person, but I'm so much more
Than
real.
what you see, of course.
I don't know what that is, but yeah, okay, I'm very much with my, like, real life is everything to me. I do my thing on socials, but I try to keep it real on socials. But there's only so much you can actually speak about on socials. So that's a good point you said, though. When you come to the masjid, yeah, there's salams and there's like, how you been, da-da-da-da-da. But I know you saw me on socials. You didn't message me like, Aki, let's link up or whatever. And you asked me how I've been. You know my mum died. You know, man had a very bad stage. You know, you saw it. Everyone saw it. Everyone was talking. When I say everyone, I don't mean literally, but all of the brothers that man grew up with was... Where was the unity then? There was... I'm not saying all, but overall, as a majority, I feel like even my good close friends, good brothers that I was like that with, wasn't there for man. And then they expect me to be, when I see that, Aki, how are you? Well, I don't like you anymore because you left, man, bro. And not that I still love you for the sake of Allah, I'll still give you salams, you know, but I feel like you left me. And I feel like that in our community, so where you was like, do you feel the loyalty's not there? When a brother starts slipping, like I got a disease or something, you just leave, man, to slip. Do you think I want to move away from this thing? Like, I don't want to leave this. I love this, but I'm weak and I'm hurting and I need help and I need a flipping cuddle. And I need, bro, wipe my tears away. Bro, tell me it's going to be okay, bro, like, I'm mash up, help me. And no one wanted to help. And if it was the help, it was like, if you need anything, shout me. Why would I want to shout you? I shouldn't have to shout you. I just got a message the other day from my old best friend. My mum's been dead in the ground for 6 years, bro. 6 years on the 3rd of October. He used to call my mum. That's how close we were. My mum would make sure that we have halal meat. This is before my mum became Muslim, for us to go and eat in the house.
So he's Muslim as well?
He's Muslim, yeah, he's my best friend. Me and him are like that, yeah? Been through every single thing you could imagine together, right? I had my downfall. And I'm still going through my downfall now. Only now I'm slowly building up, by the way.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And when I had my downfall, the brother just started distancing from me. Proper distancing. I noticed it and I thought, right, you know what, whatever. Distance. I thought, right, let me not speak on it because Shakeel's too sensitive, right? Cool. I got a message the other day, like maybe 2 paragraphs long on my DMs. So when you're like, real life and social media is different, I agree with you, Aki. It is to a certain extent.
It can influence each other.
One thing, Shakeel, so, you know, some of the points I'm mentioning very interesting. I want you to speak about solutions to that, inshallah. You know, what solutions. Okay. But prior to that now, so do you think on your part, maybe you're doing the reverse of what they're doing? Meaning, you know what, you're just judging them. Because the reason why I say this is, look, sometimes, look, I get a call. I probably got a few missed calls now. And sometimes the brother will, you know, is missing one missed call and he'll be like, okay, you didn't call me back.
You're an imam with how many hundreds of people going through our little immature issues.
Yeah, but you know, it's like 50, 60, but the brother would be very genuinely upset, or sister. So I might be a day late, but they're not seeing my predicament in terms of, okay, you know, I've got some commitments and responsibilities. I do get back to you. Do you think same with that brother or other brothers?
No, not at all. Maybe I'm like you, bro, very harsh. No, it's not even that I'm being harsh. I'm just being real. It's different. Like, is this how people think? Like, sometimes I hear brothers and they'll come like, oh yeah, Imam Shakeel didn't get back to me. So? What, so? How many men are in this masjid now that have gone to Imam Shakeel, but you think you're the one brother that's going through dramas with your wife and he's got his own wife. He's got his own kids. You've got your own stuff going on. You are an imam. Your job is to lead the salah and try to help. Your job is not to be everybody's father. I think people keep forgetting that. That's not respectfully enough. That's not your job. As much as you've done it, and you've done, I believe, not to praise you to your face, but you've done a good job, yeah? You need to call me back from the other day, by the way. Okay. That's not your role to be going around and chasing brothers back up when you've got another 100 people here. Then you've got to open a masjid. Then you've got to go back to your kids. And you're human as well. And, you know, you got a wife as well. I think people think, what is this? So that's different. You're an imam. Okay. And I think that's completely different. Bro, you don't have responsibilities like this. Otherwise, you wouldn't have enough time to be backbiting. There's complete different things.
No, but sticking to the 6, because you didn't finish, Imam jumped in, mashallah, with a brother with the 6 years.
Oh, thank you. Because I know why he done that. He done it with wisdom, but it didn't work because I was going to jump back on it anyway. He don't want me to talk bad on our Muslim community. It's fine, but if we don't start looking at the problem for what it is, looking at these things that are potential elephants in the room, we're just going to have more youngsters like myself. Look how, not to praise myself, look how involved I used to be in the community. Every single day, travelling from New Addington on bus to come here to do everything I could. I'm gone. Don't like the community anymore. This is my negative mindset now. You're all horrible. You all stabbed me in my back, down to a few wrongs that have been done, right? So we need to talk like this. Yeah, as much as it might look bad and put people off, and yeah, I'm Shakeel, and maybe a lot of people will be listening to this and it will put people off. How many people have been in my DMs like, bro, I agree with you so much, we really need to deal with this issue, but we keep sweeping it underneath the carpet. No more sweeping under the carpet. Let's just look at it, expose it, and then we can deal with it. So back to this brother, best friend, yeah? He sent me 2 paragraphs. So, alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Aki, I know I've not spoken to you for a number of years. I know I wasn't there for you much. So if you knew, why did you do it, bro? And why are you contacting me now 6 years later, bro? My tears have dried. I've got no more tears to cry. You used to call my mum. Even seeing that message, bro, I was just like, 6 years after, Aki. 6 years, bro. Used to stay at my house. And again, and the thing is, yeah, it's not even like the brother is jahil. If the brother was jahil and he was out and he went hunch and he was trapping or he started going that rap career, I don't expect better from you. And this is why Muslims come in and say, do you know what? It come like the jahil brothers have more unity and love man more than the proper practicing brothers. Why? Because people start getting intoxicated with their own religiousness or whatever it is, and they start thinking...
more forgiveness.
What?
Those that's on the Jahiliyyah world, they have more forgiveness because they will look at what they're doing as well.
They'll say like,
and you would think the Muslims would have that as well, but sometimes we don't, or the so-called practicing.
So I know, like, because I indirectly used to see, like, how's the brother, blah, blah, and then he said his name now. How's the brother, blah, 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 doing? Is he all right? Yeah, okay, I saw him in this salah. I saw him in the masjid for this salah. Me, I don't even want to go to the masjid to pray salah because I don't want to buck up with people like that. So hear what I'm saying, yeah? I'm going to get to my point and land in a bit, yeah? Sorry, man, but we have to address the issue, right? Because I asked, because I was going to reply. I didn't reply to the brother either because I thought, I don't know what to say to you, bro. I don't forgive you. Sorry. You can't keep doing big things and hurting man hurting man, yeah? And say, Afwan, Aki, forgive me, inshallah. It's very hard for me to forgive you right now. It is. I want to forgive you. I'll give you your rights. I'll be polite with you, this, that, and the other. But right now, that was too deep for man to forgive. So I remember I was talking to somebody and I was just like, look, my old best friend has done this with me. I don't want to talk about this at all. It's been so long. And I was like, but why? Just forgive him. Like, just get over it. You got over so-and-so doing that to you, yeah. But this is different. Why? He's always in the masjid. He's always putting up Islamic posts. He's always, like, very amongst the practicing brothers, yeah? The practicing circle. But you can't forget a basic principle of still checking up on your brother. How do you... I don't understand. This is what I was saying earlier. You'll hear a khutbah, but you forget these basic things here, bro. Basic, like... It's like ABC. How does someone have to come and tell you? And another thing, I don't feel like he done it out of his own will. I feel like someone got onto him. Maybe I'm wrong and said, Aki, like, you need to go and check him, man. Like, what's going on? Why have you left it for so long? But anyway, you're giving people reminders for salah and this, that, and the other. You pray 5 times a day minimum, yeah? You never once thought to just check on your ikhwa, check on your brother, check on me. How am I doing? My mum was once your mum, bro. I don't understand it. How do you put your head down and when you're making sujood and then you're asking Allah for repentance and stuff like this, and then you just forget to do these big things here when you know how important it is to make sure that if you die, none of your brothers are upset with you and these things are here. It's wrong. I don't understand it. Another thing, there's 2 things if you ask most men in the world, what's the most thing that will break you? 1, a man's daughter dying, yeah? The second, a man's mother dying. Even if I was to ask you, may Allah preserve all your mums if your parents are still here, I mean, if I've seen man start tearing up just the thought of their mum dying, just the thought of it. Man, you'll see a big grown man just like, it hurts, bro. I had to experience that and had no help from my best friend. Muslim, both in this thing hard together, like I'm talking about like when we was practicing. And you just left man alone, bro. And this happened a number of times. There was a few brothers that done the same similar thing. So it wasn't just like a one-off. And I thought, do you know what? Let me forgive this brother. There were numerous... he was my best friend. And I had other very good friends as well. Same thing. But when I put up a quote on my Facebook and I say something maybe a bit un-Islamic, a bit music, this, that, and the other, the same brothers are giving man nasiha, bro. Tell me how I'm meant to feel like, yeah, it's not all Muslims. When it's my own brothers, my day ones, brothers that I've gone through everything with, without going into depth. I'm talking mad situations with, almost risked my freedom, almost risked my life with. Do you know what I'm saying? Mad situations, I'm there. And now you want to talk to me. It's crazy, bro. So as much as of course, it's not all Muslims, because otherwise I wouldn't be here now. But when you're feeling it from your close people, or when you're feeling it from the loudmouth ones that always got something to say, it does feel like it's everybody. It's like, as a kid, you might, or as like a young child, you might have accidentally wet yourself in school. And yes, I did wet myself once in school, yeah? You feel like everybody knows and everyone can feel it. That's how it feels. So you feel like, everybody's judging me in this community. And it might just be a little trickle.
For sure.
Not to call the brothers piss, but there's a little trickle, but you feel everybody is judging you. And it's not the case. So,
so what would you say
solution-wise, I feel like we really need to kind of like use me as a perfect example of somebody that, like, everyone knows how I am. Like, my heart was on my sleeve, do anything. And it wasn't, the brother, like, you see things, lol, my man's off it now. I understand. I'm not off it. I'm hurt and I don't know what to do. Help me. When all us brothers that are maybe doing whatever, we're not happily off it. We're just so confused. And you'll find out 9 out of 10, us brothers that are like this, is because we care so much. That's why things hurt us. My brotherhood was real. You'll never be, wallahi, bro, as much as I'm this, I'm that, and I'm many other bad things, ask one person to ask him, but is he fake? Would he lie to you? Would he? No. So understand, I feel like people need to understand, when we are falling, like brothers like myself, or we're struggling, it's not out of an evil place. It's not because man's a manafic or man's trying to cause facade upon the earth, bro. We're hurt. We don't know how to deal with it. When I say don't know how to deal with it, let me break that down. Again, referring back to mum's dead. Do you think I got a cuddle from my dad? No. I asked my dad about 2 years ago, because now I've got enough confidence to confront him and say, Dad, like, why didn't you hug me? Why didn't you just give me some advice? The only thing he told me is like, you got to get over it, son. Wallahi, yeah? What's my point? I'm hurting. I don't have my dad to even give me advice. Why do you think man loved being in a masjid so much? Because there was so much, there's not bare girls here. I'm amongst loads of men, because men are helping me how to be a man in life, how to think like a man, how to just behave like a man, how to do everything like a man. So, I'm not contradicting myself, by the way, when I said earlier about I wasn't taught how to be a man with marriage. That's a different thing. But just on your day-to-days, you know, that I was taught that being a man wasn't to go hold your gun or your knife anymore. Principles like that. So my advice would be to those brothers, calm down. Calm down, bro. And check yourself before you check me. Are you saying it, your advice, is it out of sincerity? Check yourself before you start checking me. Or are you saying it because you've been dying to say something to me before? Or when I was doing really good, you couldn't come at me with a certain angle, so now you've got this opportunity to fire your arrow and you're firing. Don't kick me when I'm falling down, bro. That makes you look weak. My other advice would be like, remember that, I don't even know if it's a hadith or what's it when Allah will conceal your sins.
It's a hadith. Whoever conceals the sins of a Muslim, Allah will conceal his or her sins on the Day of Judgment.
What's the other hadith as well when a man said, you're going to go hellfire for this?
He said, wallahi, this person, Allah will not forgive him. And Allah said, who is this person who's taking an oath in my name and saying, I won't forgive him? I forgive that person and I make void all the good deeds of this so-called righteous person.
They will hear these people that have adapted this judgmental mindset will hear things like this. Okay. But I'm commanding good and forbidding the evil. It's
Who's giving you that permission to do that kind of thing, though?
Especially when you just see your brothers, like, when you see a brother is just not an evil you. Like, you can just look at man and you can just see who's an evil you or not. Man's not an evil you. I'm not a horrible person that wants to not do certain things or wants to go around oppressing people, do this and the other. You see man's a good youth. You see man's got a good heart. Yeah? And it's rare. It's rare to find nowadays, as we're knowing. Yeah, it's very... You can find Muslims anywhere, but you see Muslims that are like just so... I don't even want to put myself on this pedestal, but I've seen a few brothers come and go where they're just so genuine and they're so real. Bro, there's so much I have to say about this, but we should appreciate when a brother is literally your brother. We need to learn to appreciate them more. How many brothers that I've known since I've been Muslim are dead now? Good brothers. May Allah make them all rest. I mean. So more appreciate the brother rather than not shoot him for recording purposes. Bring him down. Don't bring us down. Lift us up. Let's support one another. And especially now, it's like now people... It's a funny thing as well. And why, again, it sounds like I've been negative talking about this podcast. Again, on another podcast, I'll maybe invite me again, I'll talk about the highlights of why I love Islam. And one main thing is, I find it funny now, is now social media is really on the rise. All of the principles that I learned, from being a young teenager as a Muslim, are coming up now on social media, but not under the banner of Islam. Oh, we must stay together in the community. We must build each other one another up. I was learning that back when I was 15 from Islam, from a religion that was built, the religion that come down 1,400 years ago. We must meditate. Meditation's good. Salah 5 times. I think Oprah Winfrey put it up like, she meditates 5 times a day for 10.
Fasting's another one.
Did she say that?
I ain't finished. Fasting.
Yeah.
You see this one, people like, doing my intermittent fast and I'm fasting because scientifically it's good.
Yeah.
And it's against myself as well. There's still certain things that I'm doing now that I'm struggling. Well, Allah told me, don't do this. Well, Allah told us. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, do this. It's only for our benefit. So when things have been told us that the Muslim brothers are only but one, the unity is only but one, why are you dividing it by the stupidness that's coming out of your mouth? So again, this is why Islam is so beautiful. No matter how much man falls off or goes this certain way, Islam is a beautiful foundation. The principles of it, the cleanliness of it, the stories, the history, the science. I can go on and on and on. And this is what has still kept me here. Because again, I'm a big man now. No one can come to me and say, Raki, you better be Muslim or what? Nah. This is by choice. I'm still here. It's by choice I still grow my beard. Not because it's fashion. I was growing beard before when I looked like you probably remember when it was like a hair here and hair here. Now all of a sudden it's a fashion. So I'm here by, alhamdulillah, first by Allah's blessing of allowing me to still be a Muslim. And secondly, by choice, I'm still believing because this religion is haq, truth, and it's very beautiful. And then when the brothers are patterned, like how I thought we were a few years ago, beautiful. And it's just a shame to see these little weak links here and there because it does end up having an effect on all of us because look at the potential of the things that we can build in terms of wealth, in terms of charities, in terms of little things. The fact, the brothers go and play football with the kids. When I was here a lot, I was doing all of the youth work over at the centre and stuff like that, When we are one, look how powerful we are. When we started slipping, I haven't been around the community much. Also, not saying because of me, when I fell off, I started slipping it back in my old ways, or new ways, and I did pop my head back into the community, I was just hearing so much, slowly, falling here and there. And I was just like, you know what? I thought I was alone in this. Many of us are struggling. And the more we start talking openly about these things, the more we can start kind of taking them pieces that are falling back together and bring back that picture that I feel like it once was that really made me feel grounded.
Inshallah. And I think that's the aim of the bridge kind of. Well, when we spoke about this whole bridge thing and the brothers came up with this idea, that was literally the idea behind it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That everyone goes through their struggles and some people look practicing and some people look not practicing. And the aim is to bring everyone together and say, ultimately we are all Muslims and we all make mistakes. Some are public, some are private. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And no one should feel awkward or, you know, not good as or even too good to be rolling with anyone. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Everyone should be rolling with everyone and trying to, because look, you're either influencing or you're being influenced. It's one of the two. Do you get what I mean? And if you feel you're a person of influence, then influence people with good. And if you think you're the person who's been influenced, then roll with people who are good. It's as simple as that. But what happens is, like we've been talking all this time, is people who do mistakes, because so-called friends or so-called brothers, you know, don't show them that love that they thought they should have had. They think, you know what, let me do my own thing. And we already know, when you're by yourself, you go deeper and deeper into whatever mindset you already had. And you fall further and further and further away from what is meant to be. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So,
100%.
Yeah, I think we can talk about these topics all day about
There's one important part I want to ask Shakeel about. So, my mum took Shahada, alhamdulillah. May Allah have mercy on her, Jannah Firdaus. In terms of, did you give a da'wah?
Yeah, sorry. This topic, I actually wanted to ask you something, about this. Imagine, maybe you can give a khutbah about this, because you speak to so many Muslims. I done this thing, when I put up a photo, I think it was my mum's grave or janazah, or even if I mentioned something about it, these comments come up very regularly of, but did your mum die as a Muslim? Alhamdulillah, she did. Yeah? What if she didn't? And you're saying that to me?
You're proper insensitive, innit?
But I love you for the sake of Allah, Aki. I remember commenters getting onto comments like this, and it happened quite regularly. It wasn't one. Regular, you get this. These people say these things, and people are like, "Why does that matter?" And then the whoever is behind that account will explain, because there's this hadith that says you can't make dua for this, that, and okay, cool. Why you gotta say that though? Why you gotta ask me as a comment? Why not just make dua for her? You don't have to know. You don't have to ask me. Just make dua. I hope that she is. And I was just thinking, subhanAllah, so how many brothers that I know now and their mum's not Muslim, and we're all getting to that age now where mums are getting old and all them things there, and especially this coronavirus and all these things there. So what, you're going to turn around to your other Muslim brothers, like, Aki, but was your mum Muslim? So if he turns around and says, no, like, sorry, I can't pray for Aki. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just to say, these types of things hurt from people that...
Yeah, I mean, it's more insensitive, you know, some people just...
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like we get told so much to be like rejal that people take it the wrong way and start thinking it's being insensitive. I feel like we need to be more sensitive to one another.
Of course.
We need to be more soft towards one another. I swear there's that saying as well. You should be soft with us and harsh with oppressors.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's the opposite, man.
Yeah.
It's the opposite, bro. Harsh towards the Muslims.
SubhanAllah, beautiful hadith. He goes, look, the Prophet said, the believers are layyinun hayyinun, easygoing and gentle. And there's no khair, no goodness in those who are not easygoing and gentle. And that was actually the Prophet's own example, like what we mentioned. But Shakeel, just going back to mum. So what you know, what did you say to mum? When did mum get interested? When did she take a shahada?
Yeah, so I don't like talking about my mum, but I will. When did she take her shahada? I can't remember the year.
Was it your dawah though? Was it your dawah or was it others as well?
Yeah.
You made speak
when
to
I first started Muslim, she didn't really want to... She was all right with it. She didn't really have anything bad to say. She was like, just don't become an extremist. And she'll drop these types of jokes here and there. My mum was a joker, so... Yeah, she was proper like a funny woman, you get me? But she was serious at the same time. And after a while, she started seeing like... I started changing in a good way with the whole street thing. Kind of stopped it. And then I started telling her more about Islam and what I do. And then I think it was like a slow thing. And from young, my mum always put the like respect of God into me, always. And she used to always talk about angels. And she used to just have this belief that angels have helped her get to where she's got in life. Because my mum had a really, really, really... I think I have a bad life. My mum had a very traumatic life. like very bad, and she used to say like angels saved her and got her to where she was. So that kind of principle and foundation was there anyway. And then I remember I used to start talking to her about, do you know what's funny? I used to talk to her about death a lot, ironically, way before she was ill. Because remember, she took Shahada about 4 years before she died. And she used to say, when I die, I want to be cremated. And I knew that that's not allowed, right? Islamically. So I explained to her. I used to say, why? Why do you want to be cremated? She's like, I don't like the thought of being in the ground. And loads of mums have this, people have this thought as well, especially when you don't have Muslims around you to break it down. She's like, I don't want to be in the ground with all these worms. And she used to always say that it's these bugs. The thought of my body being, I just can't take it. So, okay. And I was like, Mum, listen, let me explain to you how a Muslim is buried. And I think the first brother that I saw die was Mikhail. And that one hit me proper, because it was just before I finished talking to him outside the mosque. And I remember that made me, because he was so young and his lights can kind of resemble the same, inquire more about death and what happens and stuff. So I started asking about what happens, and I started learning more. So then I gave that information to my mum and said, like, basically, a Muslim's burial is beautiful. What they do is that they give you like a soft bath on your skin, like a ghusl, wash your body down. They spray you with oud, perfume, and they perfume all of your body. They read Quran on you. I think, is that right? Can't remember saying that, yeah. They wrap you in this thing very delicately. No one is allowed to really touch your body other than people that are family, and no one's really allowed to see your body. And then they put you down. I'm not going to cry. I'm not. I said no tears. They put you down in the ground, and then they face you towards, like, obviously I'm talking in mum's language, so I'll be like, to Mecca. Obviously I know it's the Kaaba, and I was like, so it would be as if you are praying towards that direction, and then when you're raised, you know, an angel will come and raise you up. I had to use that angle, you get me? By Allah, and then however you were is how you be raised up, so you'll be smelling beautiful and stuff like that. And she just fell in love with that idea and being like kind of one with the ground, and then being raised up in that beautiful state. And I explained also like the burning thing is not cool. And she was just like, yeah, like that sounds really peaceful. And then so she's like, one day we've gone to, I think, Wembley Market, and then she saw all these Muslim women walking past, and she's just asking questions. I was like, she's asking too many questions for somebody that doesn't care. So then I was just like, listen, Mum, why don't you just take your Shahada? Bear in mind, we've gone through a lot.
Prior to that?
Yeah, a lot. And she's just like, boy, I don't know, you know? And I was just like, what's the issue? If it's wrong, then it's wrong. If it's right, she's like, no, I think it's right, but I can't be covering my hair and all them things then. And I was like, Mum, that is the least of your worries. And I was like, I always say it now anyway, like, wear a hijab on your heart first and then your hair. That's the last thing. And she's like, so what, I can be Muslim and just walk around like normal? And I was like, yeah. She's like, to be honest, I don't even show my body like that anyway. I like to cover up. And I was like, well then, Mum, you might as well just take your Shahada. And she was like, okay, cool. I was like, so you just got to say these Arabic words, but I used to always do this to her all the time. And I was like, you really ready? She's like, I'm proper ready. So then, I read out a Shahada for her, and she said a Shahada, boom, bam, bing.
On the street there?
On the street there, yeah. Boom. Like, I was over the moon, proper happy. And then it was weird. After a while, she just started attracting Muslim women that would just speak to her, but she would never say she's Muslim. One lady gave her a Quran where she was working. I still got the Quran now. It's a beautiful white Quran. But the lady didn't know she was Muslim. She's just like, oh, hi, a little Arab lady, my mum said. And she'll keep going through the train station every morning. My mum used to work at this train station at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And she said that there was this lady that used to always wear hijab and be really kind to her. And she goes like, after about a month, the lady was just like, here, have this book. And my mum was like, I didn't even know what to say to her. I didn't want to say I'm Muslim or anything. And then she stopped coming. Yeah. And then, that was that. Sorry, I just reminded me of something else. But yeah, that was her. So she
So
took a shot.
4 years prior to her death, she'd taken a Shahada.
Yeah.
And it was your
Yeah.
kind of like
I
da'wah
hope so.
and stuff,
Yeah,
inshallah.
man.
Any other siblings, relatives that taken the Shahada within your family?
No, man. I thought like my niece was. She hasn't. I thought like my sister might. She hasn't. I feel like my dad would, but he's just got too much other influence around him. But my dad is a very like religious man. He believes in one God. He believes in prophets. He has the foundation there. Maybe I should just put a bit more pressure on him and just say, look, Dad, come on, man, sort it out. But what am I talking about? Sorry, that's that black thing coming again and just blanking things out. It's so crazy. It's not nice having this, by the way, because you forget good memories as well. He used to come mosque with me. He come here one time for Uncle Shahid's lessons.
Subhanallah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He even prayed with us downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he come to my wedding as well.
Yeah.
So he likes it. He's with it. He's not anti it at all.
Mashallah.
Just need to, just give him a bit more dawah. But because it's quite annoying, because I feel like I've fallen myself, it's a bit embarrassing to go to my dad and say, Dad, man, you got it. Because he'd be like, look at you, son. I expect him to be judgmental, not my own brothers. You get me? He'd be like, look at you, son. So I feel a bit silly there, where I'm like, I want my dad to be a Muslim, but yeah, I'm not sticking to it how I should be.
One more point from my side. I don't know, maybe you might not feel comfortable speaking about this, but Mum's death and the aftermath of that on you, positive and negative, what happened to you, what you went through at that time, that stage. You want to speak about that, or it's too much to go?
Yeah. What do you want to know exactly? Like, let's pinpoint. Let's do it.
No, it's general. It's general.
Okay.
I mean, how did it impact you? How did it affect you? Alhamdulillah, I mean, Janazah was, it was packed out.
Beautiful.
Janazah, you know what? Brothers, sisters turned up. It was a good day. I mean, I remember you done you wrote something about Mum. Mum's picture was on the card. Remember?
Yeah.
That you made. You done a good speech. Yeah, you gave a reminder. So
yeah, I forgot all those things until you said it.
Yeah, no, it's powerful, Akhi.
That day is like, yeah, blur. Mum died, buried her, and that was that.
The non-Muslims that came were respectful. There was good vibes on the day. There was kind of like a lot of respect and love just on that day. Not just on the Muslim side, but even the non-Muslims that were there.
My mum was respected. A lot. Yeah, a lot. Like I said, she had a very hard life. From a child, teenagers. She remember she had my son. She had her son, which is my older brother, at 16. Then had a child after that. So she had a very hard life, and for what she built for herself was very quite applaudable, and you know what I'm saying. And she still managed to just keep herself together. So yeah, she had a lot of respect in that sense. And then obviously I used to love my mum a lot. So I think everyone loved my mum. That's why it hit and hurt so much, because it was like the one thing man don't want to happen happens. Has happened in a bad way as well. It wasn't even just mum's death, it was so she got stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
People don't know this. And it was seeing her deteriorate, and then next minute being fine, and then going down, and then being fine. And that was like, this thing's mad. Viciously attacking her. Yeah, it was bad, man. Proper bad, Yeah, it wasn't nice to see, and that was going on for a few months from when she got the news of her being ill. I think it was like 5 months later. Yeah, very mad. Didn't even get to say bye or nothing. Didn't even get to say bye. I got told that she's in the hospital. She's got 24 hours to live. Rushed to the hospital, and my stepdad walked out, and he was just in bits, and he goes, sorry, me and my brother went there, and he just said, sorry boys, you're too late, she's gone, and walked off crying. And then I walked to the hospital. I don't ever talk about this, by the way. Walked into the ward where she was, and just walked into the room, just saw her. Yeah, she was freezing cold so quickly. So I remember she was just freezing cold. and her eyes were open. And then I just went over and I closed her eyes, tidied her up a bit. Just kissed her forehead. And yeah, that was the last one I saw of her. So I said, don't cry.
And from that, alhamdulillah, you arranged the janaza.
I had a good janaza. That was good.
Yeah.
It's crazy because a year before that, right? My granny passed away as well. We was like a proper tight family. It was just like death. And me and mum found my nan or my gran. She was dead as well. And my mum said to me, oh my God, remember, what should I do? Like, her eyes are open. And I was like, Mum, just close the eyes. And she was like, no, you do it, son. I was like, Mum, listen to me. Just close her eyes. And it's like a year after that, I'm there closing my mum's eyes. It's crazy. I don't know why I even thought to say that, but I just thought, how mad is that? So yeah, in the janaza, that was fine. I don't have no complaints about that. It was beautiful. There was a lot of weird things that happened that day that I've never spoke about before. I feel like maybe I was hallucinating or something, yeah. Maybe you could help me with this. When my mum got cancer, yeah, we're still in my house. I've gone and lived back with my mum in her house, yeah. I had my own place at the time. It was literally from the day she got ill. Sorry, let me backtrack. From the day she got ill, this it's called, I know birds in it, so there's this ringed neck, it's called a ringed neck dove. It looks a little bit grey. It's like light grey and it has this ring around its neck. One dove will come in our back garden every day. One day. Next day, that one dove will come back next day. Throughout my mum was ill, right? Until another day, there was 2 doves. And it's very rare to find doves where we live, right? The day she died, wallahi, I looked out my back window, yeah, and there was 10 doves on my back garden. Just all on my fence, not in that neighbour's, not in that neighbour's, not in that, just all on the fence, all in a line. I don't, obviously, superstition and stuff like that, I'm very anti stuff like that. I'm looking, I'm thinking, this is weird. Like, this is weird. I've all called my stepdad, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Did he see it as well?
The day man buried my mum, yeah? They kept on coming from, because it was like maybe like 6 days until the burial or something like that. They were there in the back garden, each and every time, yeah? Every day, I'll go to the garden just to make sure I'm not, and I'm looking. They're there. They're there. And then the day we buried my mum, they were there. The day after that, I didn't see one.
And at the funeral, you said you saw them there or no?
No, but yeah, it's just very weird because I just start seeing weird things after that. Like white feathers would just pop up randomly places. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Or like there'll be times where I'll just look outside, yeah, randomly, and I'll just see a dove. Doves are not, like, I know my birds. I'm a proper animal guy. Like, everyone knows man that loves animals. I know my birds. Doves are not a normal thing to see. So I'm not saying that's my mum and I'm not that guy, innit? I'm very real with things. But at the same time, you know when you see things too much, like I said earlier, hacker's hat, I'm like, there's something different with this, but I'm not going to say it's that. You get me? But yeah, that just threw man off. Even if it was just like a blessing that Allah might have sent just to say, I don't know. But yeah, that one there got me.
But we even know Islamically that animals see what human beings don't see, akhi. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So there could be many things and many reasons as to why, akhi. So
whatever it is, I know it's not normal and it's good.
Alhamdulillah.
It wasn't like something evil come at man. You see it? So alhamdulillah, that was that.
And the impact of that now, of course, a part of you's been taken away, you know.
Yeah, I'm still not over it, to be honest. I don't even talk about it. I don't like talking about it, as you can see. Like, I can't even more time say mum without flipping, tearing up and getting all choked up. Like, I'm surprised I've done well today. Yeah, I'm not over it. I need to get like some sort of therapy or something like that, because people lose their mums, isn't it? This is something that happens, but I think it was the way it happened and how quick it happened and how close we were. That was my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She would do things that other mums wouldn't do for their children. She used to help me in so many different ways. Even in my marriage, she would help me. In my marriage, she would help me with every little thing. She was just she was kind of like my Cody. If I ain't got a car, she's dropping me Friday prayer. If I've done something naughty, she's helping me and bailing me out of the situation. Mm. It wasn't just like a mum that would, no disrespect, but like, it wasn't just an everyday mum that just looks after her kids and stuff. Like, she was like my best friend. You know, understand? She would teach me most of the principles that I have now. Mm. How I am now is basically through my mum. Do you understand? So me losing her is like I lost my whole base of who do I turn to now to ask for like advice now. You know, people are like, yeah, you turn to Allah, you turn to the Quran, you turn to your brothers. No, I'm talking about in person. Man's mum was a foundation, you understand, where she would give man wisdom. So where that was gone, I just felt lost, bro. Lost, like. I won't call you bro, by the way. I'll call you brother.
Alhamdulillah.
So yeah, that did have a big impact. I think people saw it's clear it had a very bad impact. It wasn't nice. I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy, honestly. Not a nice feeling. You can feel all sorts of ways with this. You can feel suicidal, you can feel angry at the world, you can feel really hard done by, you can feel, I'll be real with you, you can even feel
question God sometimes, yeah.
God, like you can kind of blame God, like, why have you done this to me?
The side point, I mean, from mum's perspective, you know, look, alhamdulillah, janaza, shahada, illness. And I remember mentioning that at the janaza, look, yeah. Allah Ta'ala expiating her sins, akhi. That's it. Cancer, you know, so...
And do you know what's crazy as well? My mum used to always say, yeah, that she's not meant to be in this world. Like, she used to say, like, this world is too evil. And she's like, I'm not meant to be here. One. So that kind of, these types of remembrances, like, she's sensitive like me. That's why maybe I'm sensitive. Like, when people used to do her wrong and do her dirty, it will hurt.
Hurt you.
Hurt her. I feel like I've got that trait as well. And this is why it led to her saying, no, I'm not meant to be in this world, because people have done her very, like, bad things. And she's like, oh, I'm just going to take it. She used to say, like, I should have been in a different generation and stuff like that. She's like, this earth is not for me. There was the other one she used to say, that she said that she used to really fear of being really old, that she couldn't even, like, clean herself and look after herself.
Somebody else has to look after her.
That was her biggest fear.
Subhanallah.
So in a way, she got what she asked for. In a blessing. Like, this is me now talking as a man. As the boy, man was me throwing my toys at the pram. I'm not gonna lie, I was very angry and stuff. But now looking at it as a grown man now, I'm like, do you know what? Mum, you didn't want to be here anyway. And after that, the world just got more evil. Just after my mum died, one of my good friends committed suicide. That they know each other well. My good friend. Grenfell happened. These things here, it would impact my mum. I know my mum. They would impact her too much. She would, like, she'll be out here doing all sorts, trying to get justice for my friend that died, justice for Grenfell. She'll be doing, it would have hurt her too much. And then this whole coronavirus thing happened as well. It would have mashed her up too much, you understand? And then I had other personal things that really were traumatizing to me, that if she was here, that would have hurt her even more. So, in essence, alhamdulillah. It still hurts very much, but alhamdulillah, she's in a better place. She took her Shahada. Khalas, I just got to worry about my dad now and my other family members and myself. You understand? So
I think wrapping up, because we can chat for time, we've already spoken for over an hour, 40 minutes, is just quick one. Like, you seem to have gone through a lot, just listening to most of your, past life. At this stage of your life, what is it that you would kind of advise yourself at that 17 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, to kind of, whether to steer away or to go through the same things, but something that you think would have changed that person maybe to a better way or something like that?
I can't even answer that now, bro, because I feel like if I didn't go through certain things that I wouldn't go through, I wouldn't be the man now that can speak now. Before I would shy away and speak in the way that I speak now, like in front of the imam, I would feel that how I'm speaking is disrespectful and I need to kind of
Tone it down
and be a certain way. But now I feel like I can raise issues that inshallah can actually cause better things for other people to address and stuff like that. But obviously I would tell myself, slow down a little bit. I wanted to be a big man too quick. I wanted to be a bad boy too quickly. Or I shouldn't even want it to be a bad boy, but I just wanted to do this and do that way too quickly. Calm down. Just calm down, take it easy. Love your loved ones. That's a big one. Love your loved ones, because you don't know. Give your mum that hug. Don't hesitate. Give your mum that call. Give your dad that call. And love yourself. I don't think I loved myself when I was little. In a humble way. I don't think I loved myself. I was too busy trying to be something that everybody else wanted me to be. Even on socials now, even being a young 20-year-old at the time, trying to please everybody and being what everybody else wanted me to be, and not loving myself for who I am and the things that I'm interested in. So that's what I would tell young people. Love yourself. Don't let no one make you feel like you got to be a bad boy or this, or you got to have this much girls that you're linking.
By love yourself, you mean like be secure within yourself.
Secure within yourself. Appreciate yourself. Not like, if you're a good person, understand that.
You're a good person.
Don't keep on doubting yourself. Like, you know, believe in yourself. I feel like youngers don't believe in themselves anymore. They believe in a fake image of themselves, of what they want to be.
100%.
And I was that. You understand? So yeah, love yourself in that sense. You know what I mean?
Man, Jazakumullah khair.
Barakallah feek.
I think we'll wrap it up for that. Barakallah feek for everyone watching, and inshallah you've benefited from this just like I've personally benefited from this, and we'll see you on the next one. Wassalamu alaikum.